Hey everyone, I'm here today. It's about 6:30 in the evening in Los Angeles County, and I need to talk about something extremely, extremely serious and very urgent. I've thought very long and hard about this, and I am not posting this vlog in a rash manner. I'm posting it because I believe that it's that important. I am a targeted individual. I've known for many years that something was wrong as far as things that have been happening in my life or existence, as I would call it. I don't consider myself really living life. I consider myself surviving every day and existing. The first and foremost reason is because my babies have been taken away from me unjustly, having nothing to do with my past. And by my past, when I say my past, I've had no overly exciting past. By my past, I mean my long arrest history. I have a very long arrest history. I've mentioned this in my initial vlogs, I believe. And don't pay attention right now to body language or eye contact because I'm under severe distress. Targeted individual, by that I mean TI for short, and I mean literally targeted individual. My estimate is that I've been targeted since birth, given everything that I've thought about. Going back to what I just said moments ago, I've known for many, many years that something was wrong with things that were being done to me, whether in, let me amend that before I get too far into it. In response to things that I've done and things that I've never done and never had coming. And I always called it a conspiracy, but I wouldn't really tell people, oh, I'm being conspired against, or I think anything is wrong. I wouldn't even tell people because then they might very possibly think that, have thought that I was paranoid. And that would be expected, but I've never been paranoid. I have become very extremely careful, and I know that I should be even more careful. But I've never been paranoid. I've never suffered from delusions or schizophrenia or any mental illness. Emotional problems, yes, because you don't come out of something like this, or I'm not out of it. You don't go through and come through something like this, being a targeted individual, and having all the things that have happened to you and not be emotionally troubled. So, and if you said that you weren't, then you're either lying or you're not in touch. So, it's very realistic and expected to be emotionally troubled, and I'm deeply troubled in that respect. So I had known for many years that things were wrong, things were not as they should be, relatively speaking. But I thought it was a specialized course of action against only myself, and then through the years I came to think, well, there's got to be maybe a couple other people in the world that this is happening to. It can't just be me. And why is this happening to me? Why is this being done to me? I'm not the child or partner or spouse or sibling of anybody special to the extent that I know. And I'm not extraordinary special myself as far as I know. So I always thought there's, whatever this is, if it's some kind of experiment, because I came to the semi-conclusion that it's got to be some kind of experiment or something that's being done to me as far as these conspiracies, because I've never done anything so egregious in my life to be conspired against. There are people that are far worse than me. There are criminals that are far worse than me with far, far, far worse criminal records than myself. My entire history of arrests and my entire criminal record is solely made up of thefts. Those are the charges. When I say made up of, I'm referring to all of my charges, and I do have a mayhem charge from, I believe it was 1991, which involved someone who was really trying to physically hurt me. And everything, every other charge is strictly theft related charges. I'm not tech savvy, so I've never done any sophisticated crimes or even remotely sophisticated. I have these are run-of-the-mill charges of run-of-the-mill theft-related actions. So I have no exciting past or heinous past. That's it for my past. I have come to be a very special person through suffering, through struggling and suffering, and I've had unusual types and amounts of it. I've acquired and grown exponentially in not just experience but wisdom. And I believe that God has refined me, and or I have become very refined. And I'm a work in progress. I'll become even better in that respect. With that said, I was right all along. There was a conspiracy or conspiracies. I just didn't realize or have the knowledge back then, all those years ago, when I came to figure out that something is wrong and that it's the conspiracies, that this is actually national and international, or so through research I found out that this is worldwide in their approach. And by their I mean they, and by they I mean targeted individuals are believed to be targeted by the government, and anybody who is in touch should know that the so-called good guys have always been the bad guys. But I'm not really going to get into why they're the bad guys. That's obvious for so many reasons to a person of reasonable and sound mind and intellect. Through research, I found out that the conspiracies are namely against many, very many people, possibly millions, and they're called targeted individuals. Some are for the reason that they are Rh negative types. but not all. Targeted individuals are also targeted for other reasons other than being Rh negative, and I don't believe that I'm Rh negative, or even being a TI, I would have had to been informed by law. But then what has ever been done legally? What's being done to me and all of the other TIs is, and always has been, and always will be, egregious and illegal on the part of the government and the other people involved with this course of action against us. Some TIs, again, targeted individuals, have reported that they've been targeted for a few years, as far as they know, or they came to be targeted in adulthood for certain reasons. I firmly believe and know that I've been targeted since birth and in subsequent vlogs, and I hope to God that I will be here to make those vlogs. And by here, I mean here on the streets, at home, and not at that other place, which I really do fear and do not deserve to be in. And that means incarcerated, that's imprisoned is what I'm talking about. I made a brief vlog that on July 7th, 2017, a prior almost 2-year-old case in a court in Los Angeles County had been refiled. They had dismissed it in June of 2017 for lack of witnesses, and they refiled in July of 2017. The prosecutor's office, with extreme prejudice and with that bias, with a degree of maliciousness that's really unheard of. This was a charge for credit card theft, and not even a sophisticated or fancy type of theft, just a run-of-the-mill charge for a run-of-the-mill action that they allege.